Remember the antics of Gunner Lofty, Captain Ashwood, and the rest of the band in It Ain't Half Hot Mum? The show's humor and music kept audiences entertained, but behind the cameras, their real lives were far more dramatic. Some faced untimely deaths, others achieved unexpected triumphs. Let's uncover the truth about the 1974 cast and celebrate the lasting legacy they left behind. Windsor Davies as Battery Sergeant Major Williams. Windsor Davies was born on August 28, 1930, in Canning Town, London, England. At 44 years old, he played Battery Sergeant Major Williams, the loud, no-nonsense sergeant whose booming voice and strict discipline created countless comedic moments in It Ain't Half Hot Mum. His portrayal anchored the show's military humor and made the character unforgettable. Off-screen, Davies shared a lifelong marriage with his wife Elunde, who supported him when he began acting at 31. Together, they raised 5 children while navigating the challenges of sudden fame. The death of Elunde in September 2018 was devastating, leaving him emotionally shaken after more than 6 decades together. Sadly, Davies passed away on January 17, 2019, at the age of 88. Shortly after losing his wife. His career spanned beyond It Ain't Half Hot Mum into the sitcom Never the Twain and appearances in My Family, leaving a legacy of sharp comedic timing and memorable television characters. Melvin Hayes as Bombardier Gloria Beaumont. Melvin Hayes was born on January 11, 1935 in Wandsworth, London, England. At 39 years old, he played Bombardier Gloria Beaumont, the flamboyant, effeminate member of the regiment who brought charm, wit, and a hint of rebellion to the soldiers' strict routines in the movie. His comedic interpretation added nuance to the show's humor and became a fan favorite. Hayes experienced a complex personal life with 3 marriages and 6 children. His third wife, Jane Mayle, whom he married in 1992, helped him navigate the pressures of fame and aging. Jane's passing in 2022 left a deep emotional gap, yet Hayes remained resilient and committed to his family and his craft. His later career expanded into voice work for animated series like Super Ted and stage performances in musicals and pantomimes, maintaining a steady presence in entertainment. Hayes also received recognition for lifetime achievement from the Grand Order of Water Rats in 2025 at age 90. Celebrating his enduring contribution to British comedy and television. As of 2026, Melvin Hayes is 91 years old. He continues to enjoy retirement while remaining a respected figure in the entertainment industry, occasionally appearing at events and interviews, and reflecting on a career spanning decades filled with both laughter and the resilience required to overcome personal challenges. Don Estelle as Gunner Lofty Sugden. Don Estelle was born as Ronald Edwards on January 17, 1933, in England. At 41 years old, he played Gunner Lofty Sugden, the lovable, diminutive soldier with a remarkable singing voice, in It Ain't Half Hot Mum. His performance brought both humor and heart to the series, making Lofty an unforgettable character whose voice and charm left a lasting impression on audiences. Behind the laughter, his personal life was marked by hardship. Standing only 1.45 meters tall, Estelle faced constant teasing and struggled with self-esteem. When BBC pulled the series from the air due to controversial content, he lost all royalties. He was forced to tour with Windsor Davies and later sell cassettes on the streets, wearing Lofty's oversized hat to survive, a stark contrast to the fame he once enjoyed. Years of physical and emotional strain led to serious health issues. Don's liver deteriorated severely from decades of labor and stress. Despite being a celebrated singer and actor, he could not afford the transplant that might have saved him. His declining health forced him to return from New Zealand to England, and he passed away at Rochdale Infirmary from liver failure on August 2, 2003, at age 70. In accordance with his wishes, he was buried wearing the iconic hat and costume of Lofty, a final tribute to the character that defined his life. Donald Hewlett as Colonel Charles Reynolds. Donald Hewlett was born on February 4, 1920, in England. At 53 years old, he played Colonel Charles Reynolds, the witty, gin-loving officer in the movie. His performance brought charm and subtle humor to the series, making the Colonel a memorable presence whose eccentricities enriched the story. Hewlett's personal life balanced privilege with complexity. He married 3 times and had 5 children. His third marriage, to Therese McMurray in 1979, lasted 32 years and was a source of stability, yet the later years brought immense difficulty. Hewlett was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in the late 1990s, forcing him to retire from acting in 1995. For over a decade, he struggled with memory loss, gradually forgetting his career and family, while Therese endured the pain of watching the man she loved slowly fade. The disease overshadowed his final years, erasing decades of achievements and recognition from his mind. He could no longer remember the craft that had defined him like "You rang, my lord?" And "Come back, Mrs. Noah." Alzheimer's made every day a struggle against a mind that betrayed him, and the intelligence that once brought him acclaim became a distant memory. Donald Hewlett died on June 4, 2011, at the age of 90 from pneumonia at Chelsea Hospital. His story remains a stark portrait of brilliance dimmed by disease and the heartbreak of losing oneself before leaving the world. Christopher Mitchell, as Gunner. Parky Parkin. Christopher Mitchell was born on June 5, 1948 in England. At 25 years old, he played Gunner Parky Parkin, the naive young soldier whose letter to his mother gave the series its title, "In It Ain't Half Hot Mum." His innocent and spirited performance became a key element of the show's identity, anchoring its comedic and emotional tone. Mitchell's personal life was overshadowed by the immense fame of his father, Norman Mitchell, who had over 1,000 screen roles. After early success, Christopher struggled to establish his own career once the show ended in 1981. The decline of work opportunities, coupled with the pressure of living in his father's shadow, created severe psychological stress that led him into years of heavy alcohol abuse. The years of substance abuse ultimately destroyed his health. Christopher developed terminal liver cancer, a cruel culmination of his long battle with alcoholism. Despite being a once celebrated young actor, he faced his final days in isolation, away from the public eye. His body gave way quickly, unable to recover from both disease and the toll of years of self-destructive behavior. Christopher Mitchell died on February 22, 2001, at the age of 52 from liver cancer in King's Lynn, Norfolk. In a tragic coincidence, his father Norman passed away from metastatic liver cancer just 26 days later in the same town, and the two names appear consecutively in the local death records. His story is a stark reflection of a life and talent overshadowed by addiction and circumstance, leaving behind a story both heartbreaking and shockingly poignant. Michael Knowles as Captain Jonathan Ashwood. Michael Knowles was born on March 14, 1937, in England. At 37 years old, he played Captain Jonathan Ashwood, the dashing yet slightly bewildered officer who protects the troop in the movie. His portrayal added charm and humor to the series, making the captain both memorable and endearing to audiences. Following the success of It Ain't Half Hot Mum, Knowles continued to cultivate a respected career in British television. He collaborated on the scripts for Dad's Army and appeared as Captain Twelvetrees in You Rang, My Lord, solidifying his reputation for portraying witty, upper-class characters with precision. His professional consistency allowed him to remain in the industry for decades, often participating in panel shows, radio plays, and theater productions, demonstrating a versatility that extended far beyond his iconic wartime officer. In recent years, Knowles has remained active in both television and theater. He appeared in guest roles on BBC series such as Call the Midwife and Midsummer Murders, while continuing to perform in stage adaptations of classic comedies, bringing his signature timing and delivery to audiences who grew up watching him. These appearances, alongside his writing and occasional radio work, show a dedication to the craft that has lasted more than 50 years. As of 2026, Michael Knowles is 89 years old, and continues to participate in acting workshops, radio plays, and occasional television appearances. His net worth is estimated at $4 million, reflecting a long and stable career built on talent, professionalism, and a steadfast presence in British entertainment. John Clegg as Gunner Paderewski. Graham. John Clegg was born on March 3, 1934, in Punjab, British India. At 39 years old, he played Gunner Paderewski Graham, the cultured, piano-playing soldier, in It Ain't Half Hot Mum. His portrayal brought a touch of sophistication and humor to the series, even though in reality he could not play a single note on the piano, having to mime performances for 7 years on television. Clegg's personal life was marked by stability, but also deep loss. He married actress Mavis Pugh in 1959, and their 47-year marriage was a source of happiness and support. Her death in 2006 left him profoundly alone, forcing him to navigate nearly 2 decades of solitude in Chichester, West Sussex, with only memories of their life together to sustain him. After the show ended, Clegg struggled to escape the shadow of his iconic role. He appeared in small supporting parts, such as a calligraphy professor in Mr. Bean and an elderly gentleman in Bridget Jones's Diary. But these roles were a far cry from the spotlight he once had. The contrast between his early fame and later anonymity, combined with the isolation of losing his wife, marked a quietly tragic arc in his later years. John Clegg passed away on August 2, 2024, at the age of 90, exactly 21 years after his co-star Don Estelle died on the same date. His story reflected decades of loyal work in television and stage, and he was remembered as a devoted actor who endured both the pressures of fame and the profound solitude of late life. Stuart McGugan as Gunner. Atlas McIntosh Stuart McGugan was born on May 2, 1944, in Scotland. At 30 years old, he played Gunner Atlas McIntosh, the strong, imposing soldier in the movie. His portrayal brought a sense of physicality and reliability to the troupe, giving audiences a memorable depiction of the Scottish powerhouse. After the series ended, McGugan faced the challenge of escaping the image of the gruff Scottish soldier. He continued to act in children's programming like Play School, and had small roles in long-running series such as Taggart and Dr. Finlay, attempting to diversify his career and remain visible to new audiences. While these projects kept him working, the gap between his peak fame and later appearances caused pressure and financial strain, and he experienced the quiet frustration of public indifference. He also appeared in The Bill and Heartbeat, demonstrating versatility, yet the contrast between his early fame and later roles highlighted the challenges of sustaining a career after a defining part. Yet his dedication to acting never wavered, and he maintained involvement in theater and television, adapting to the shifts in his career with perseverance. As of 2026, Stuart McGugan is 82 years old and continues to engage in acting projects, occasional appearances, and mentoring younger performers. His net worth is estimated at $3 million, reflecting a long career sustained by consistent work rather than major celebrity, and a quiet resilience in the face of industry and public pressures. Dino Shafiq as Charwala Muhammad. Dino Shafiq was born in 1930 in Bangladesh. At 44 years old, he played Charwala Muhammad, the tea-selling entertainer who often sang Cool Water and provided the closing narration in each episode, in It Ain't Half Hot Mum. His performance brought warmth, humor, and a memorable musical charm, making Charwala a standout character in the series. Shafiq's personal life and career were shaped by persistent challenges. Working in England as an immigrant actor, he faced constant racial stereotyping and was often limited to minor roles portraying servants, drivers, or other characters speaking broken English. Despite these barriers, he persevered professionally, appearing in sitcoms such as Mind Your Language and guest spots in Some Mothers Do Av'em, balancing the pressures of supporting family back home while building his reputation. He continued to perform steadily, but the strain of life and work gradually took its toll. Shafiq maintained his craft in stage and television, taking roles in productions like Bless This House and Rising Damp. Yet the constant pressure and long working hours added relentless stress that he carried privately. His dedication remained unquestionable, and he was admired by colleagues for his commitment and vibrant screen presence. Dino Shafiq died suddenly from a massive heart attack on March 10, 1984, at the age of 54, at home with his fiancée. His death cut short a career on the rise and left multiple projects unfinished. According to his wishes, he was buried with dignity, and his legacy endures through the enduring popularity of Charwalla Muhammad. Mike Kinsey as Gunner Nausher Evans. Mike Kinsey was born in 1940 in England. In his early 30s, he played Gunner Nausher Evans, the perpetually eating comedic soldier, in It Ain't Half Hot Mum. His exaggerated appetite and comic timing gave the character a unique personality, providing continuous laughter and making Nausher one of the series' most memorable soldiers. After the series ended, Kinsey struggled to maintain momentum in his career. He took supporting roles in television and theater, appearing in shows like The Bill and Casualty, as well as small roles in stage productions, all while working behind the scenes and in small-scale business ventures to make a living. These efforts demonstrated his dedication, even as public attention faded. Kinsey's professional persistence included guest roles in series such as Doctors and Holby City, keeping him connected to acting despite the challenges of reduced visibility. These later appearances allowed him to continue practicing his craft while navigating the difficulties of life after fame, showing a quiet resilience over decades. Mike Kinsey passed away in 2013 when he was 73 years old. His story reflected a lifetime of steady work rather than high-profile success. Today, he is still remembered for bringing humor, energy, and life to Gunner Nausher Evans, leaving a lasting impression on audiences despite the personal and professional struggles he endured. Kenneth MacDonald as Gunner Nobby Clark. Kenneth MacDonald was born on July 24, 1951, in Manchester, England. At 23 years old, he played Gunner Nobby Clark, the mischievous whistleblowing soldier in the movie. His portrayal brought energy and comic timing to the series, making Nobby a fan favorite across all 56 episodes. MacDonald's personal life was shaped by early hardship. His father, Scottish heavyweight champion Bill MacDonald, died of kidney failure when Kenneth was only 13. To support his widowed mother, he left school at 18 and worked night shifts at Kellogg's Cornflakes factory, practicing Shakespeare aloud on the production line to keep his acting dreams alive. He later married Sheila, a costume designer, and together they raised 2 children. His family was the strong courage for him to get over many difficulties and earn other roles. He maintained steady work on stage and screen, appearing in You Rang, My Lord and Ever-Decreasing Circles, continuing to showcase his skill in both comedy and character roles. Later, he transitioned into other prominent roles, including Mike Fisher, the landlord of the Nag's Head in Only Fools and Horses for 13 years, and guest appearances in High to High and It Sticks Out Half a Mile, solidifying his reputation as a versatile sitcom actor. His commitment to acting remained constant despite personal responsibilities and the long hours of filming. Kenneth MacDonald died suddenly from a heart attack on August 6, 2001, at the age of 50, while on vacation in Hawaii with his wife Sheila and their 2 children. His body was returned to England and buried at Teddington Cemetery. The writers of Only Fools and Horses honored him by retiring his character, writing Mike Fisher into prison rather than killing him off, as a tribute to MacDonald's enduring legacy. Babar Bhatti as Punkawala Ramzan. Babar Bhatti was born in 1949 in Pakistan. At 25 years old, he played Punkawala Ramzan, the fan-pulling sarcastic soldier who often muttered ironic remarks in Urdu in It Ain't Half Hot Mum. His character added a subtle, sharp humor to the series, providing a distinctive perspective among the ensemble of soldiers. Bhatti's career was heavily constrained by typecasting. Following the end of the show in 1978, he struggled to find new roles, as the British television industry at the time offered very few opportunities for actors of South Asian descent. Despite these barriers, he remained committed to his craft, performing in occasional stage productions and minor television appearances to sustain his career. The professional challenges Bhatti faced caused significant personal and financial strain. He appeared in supporting roles in series such as Angels and small theater productions, yet none regained the prominence of his role as Punkawala. These years highlighted the limitations placed on minority actors in the UK during that era and the persistence required to continue working under such conditions. Babar Bhatti died in 1999 at the age of 50. Though his career was cut short, his portrayal of Punkawala Rumzan remains a memorable contribution to one of Britain's most iconic wartime comedies. Michael Bates as Rangi Ram. Michael Bates was born on November 8, 1920, in Jhansi, British India. At 53 years old, he played Rangi Ram, the Gurkha soldier in British uniform, in the movie. His performance added a sense of loyalty and courage to the ensemble, making Rangi Ram a central, memorable figure in the series. Bates's career was marked by exceptional skill and a distinguished stage and screen background. He was a respected member of the Royal Shakespeare Company and appeared in Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange as the chief guard. Despite this, his role as Rangi Ram became controversial because he, a white actor, performed in blackface to portray an Indian soldier, sparking criticism and contributing to the BBC's decision to ban rebroadcasts of the series. During filming, Bates also faced intense personal challenges. He battled a malignant tumor in his leg, stemming from an old injury, which later metastasized throughout his body. He endured months of pain silently while continuing to perform on set, appearing in later episodes despite his declining health. Michael Bates died on January 11, 1978, at the age of 57, at Royal Marsden Hospital in Chelsea. His illness forced the permanent removal of Rangi Ram from the series, leaving a lasting gap in the ensemble. George Layton as Bombardier Solly Solomons. George Layton was born on April 7, 1943, in England. At 31 years old, he played Bombardier Solly Solomons, the manager behind the troop's performances in It Ain't Half Hot Mum. His character provided structure and wit to the team, helping to organize the comedic and musical elements of the show. Layton made the deliberate choice to leave the series in 1975 to avoid being typecast, preserving his flexibility as an actor. He also appeared in Doctor in the House and Its Docs, expanding his portfolio beyond the military comedy genre. His career trajectory demonstrated a strategic approach, allowing him to pivot from acting into writing and television script development, building a sustained presence in the industry. After leaving the show, Layton focused on creating content behind the camera and writing plays for television, continuing to work steadily in drama and comedy productions. He participated in occasional acting roles while dedicating much of his energy to authorship and script writing, maintaining relevance in the entertainment world without being confined to a single character type. As of 2026, George Layton is 83 years old and remains active as a writer and occasional television contributor. His net worth is estimated at $5 million, reflecting a long career of strategic choices, creative output, and enduring contributions to British television and theater. Renu Setna as the Maharaja/Tailor. Renu Setna was born around 1936 in India. At approximately 38 years old, he played the Maharaja/Tailor, a local prince and occasional tailor, in It Ain't Half Hot Mum. His performances added authenticity and cultural texture to the series, even in small supporting roles. Setna's career in the UK was marked by persistent inequality. Despite being a trained actor, he was routinely given minor roles while prominent parts depicting Indian characters like Rangi Ram were often assigned to white actors in blackface. This systemic bias limited his opportunities for substantial screen presence, forcing him to navigate a frustrating industry with few chances to fully showcase his talent. He continued to perform steadily in minor television and theater roles, contributing to productions such as Mind Your Language, and The Jewel in the Crown, demonstrating versatility despite the constraints placed upon him. These appearances allowed him to maintain his career and remain visible in the British acting community, though always under the shadow of inequitable casting practices. Renu Setna passed away in 2021 at the age of 85. Though he never received major starring roles, his contributions added depth and authenticity to every production he joined, leaving a legacy of perseverance in the face of systemic discrimination. Andy Ho as Ah Sin, the Chinese chef. Andy Ho was born on July 2, 1913, in Singapore. At 61 years old, he played Ah Sin, the Chinese chef, in the movie. His portrayal brought authenticity and a touch of charm to the series, giving audiences a memorable depiction of the troupe's culinary guide. Ho's personal and professional life was marked by versatility and adaptation. After moving to England, he debuted on the London stage in The Vessel of Wrath in 1937, and later balanced his acting career with running a restaurant in London during the 1950s and 1960s. He also appeared in television productions, including the Doctor Who serial The Mind of Evil in 1970, although some of his scenes were cut and his role recast due to directorial concerns. Despite occasional setbacks, Ho continued performing in film and television with roles in British and Hollywood productions, demonstrating a commitment to his craft. His career reflected a steady presence in the industry, though often constrained by typecasting as an Asian character actor, requiring persistence and adaptability throughout his life. Andy Ho passed away on January 16, 1992, at the age of 78. He was survived by his wife and 4 children. His net worth remained modest, reflecting a lifetime devoted to acting and entrepreneurship, and he is remembered for bringing authenticity, dignity, and warmth to every role he performed. So how have the stars of It Ain't Half Hot? Mum. 1974 changed over the decades, and where are they now in 2026? From tragic losses to enduring legacies, their stories are as dramatic and compelling as the series itself. Don't miss out. Subscribe and click the bell to follow more fascinating updates on your favorite classic TV casts. So, looking back at the It Ain't Half Hot Mum 1974 cast in 2026, it's clear their lives took wildly different paths, some filled with triumph, others shadowed by tragedy. Which of these journeys shocked you the most? Subscribe and hit the bell to dive deeper into the real lives behind your favorite shows.